Hello, friends at home. In this video, I will be doing today's math lesson with you. Today's lesson is on page 187 in your math packet or book. It says Lesson 5-6 at the top, and the title says Make and Use a Ruler. Again, I'll give you a minute to get to the correct page, 187, and then we will begin. So for this assignment, we are going to be making a ruler. If you do not have an extra scrap of paper at home, don't panic or worry. I am going to make one right here in the classroom and use it, and I'm going to go through each of the problems with you so you don't have to worry. But what it says to do is to take a sheet of paper. So if you have a piece of printer paper or maybe the back of a worksheet you've already done and brought home, you really only need a strip. So I'm just going to take this scrap paper here and I'm just going to cut a strip so it kind of looks like a ruler. And again, we're working with what we've got, okay? So then it says place small paper clips along the strip. So here's our strip, and then here's the small paper clips. And then they said mark a line at the end of each of the paper clips, and then we can use it to measure. So I'm going to show you right now kind of how this is going to work. I'm going to take my strip that I cut out here, and I'm going to line it up with the end of the strip that's on the paper. Now, if you want to do this also and you need to pause the video for a minute so you can go get a piece of scrap paper, go ahead and do that. If you just want to watch me do it and learn with me, that's fine too. So once I've lined up my page with the end here, I'm going to take my pencil, and when I get to the end of each of these paper clips, I'm going to draw a little line on my strip of paper. Okay, the end of each paper clip, draw a line. Now, I'm going to scoot it down so that this last line that I drew is lined up with the edge of the paper strip, and I'm going to keep going. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm creating a ruler that has the same amount of space between each of my lines, paper clip's length. Okay, so go ahead if you want to make a ruler like I did and take some time to do that. You can pause the video, and then when you're ready to go on, unpause and we'll continue. Okay? All right, so now that you hopefully have your ruler made, we're going to go down to the practice part, and it says use your ruler to measure the length of each picture. Now remember, when we are measuring, we have to make sure that the edge of our ruler lines up with the end of the object we are measuring. If we start it not on the end, we're going to get an inaccurate or incorrect measurement. So start right here at the end, and then what we will do is we will count, much like we do on a number line, we will count the number of spaces that it takes to get to the end of our object. So here our object is a pencil. Starting at the end, we have 1, 2, 3 units. So this pencil is 3 units long. So on the line, you can go ahead and trace 3 for 3 units long. And when you're done, go ahead and flip your paper over. And we're looking at the top of the next page where we're going to measure the length of this, what looks like a drinking straw. Okay? All right, so if you have a ruler at home, you can do this along with me. And if you do not have a ruler at home or you decided not to make one, that's okay. You can just follow along with what I'm doing. So I'm going to line up my ruler with the end of the straw. Make sure it's in line with that dotted line. And then we're going to count the number of units till we get to the end of the straw. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. So the straw is 5 units long. Here it says, Danny and Nolan use a ruler to measure lines. Danny's line is 5 units long, and Nolan's line is 2 units long. who has the longer line? So we're looking at 5 units and 2 units, and we want to know who has the longer line. It says draw a picture and use your ruler to measure the lines. So here we have a line that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units long. And here I've drawn one that is 1, 2 units long. So which one is longer? Well, we can see that the top one here is longer, which is Danny's. So Danny has the longer line. It is how many units longer? Well, just like we do when we're comparing for subtraction, we can say they both have 1 unit, check. They both have 2 units, check. But now Danny has more units here that we need to measure. How many more? 1, 2, 3. So Danny is 3 units longer. And a subtraction sentence for that, if we wanted to write it out, we would say Danny's 5 units, take away Nolan's 2 units, equals 3. And Nolan is the name of our friend Blake's brother, so that's kind of fun. All right, let's move down here now. It says Maria measures the green crayon and says that it is 5 units long. Is Maria correct? And how do you know? So here's the ruler she was using, and she said, okay, I'm going to measure this crayon. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units long. Well, what did she do wrong? Well, you can see here she didn't line up the end of her ruler with the end of the crayon. So she actually missed this whole section, didn't get measured. So you have to make sure when you're using a ruler or cubes or paper clips, you have to line up your ruler with the edge of the piece that you're measuring, okay? Let's practice a little bit more. If we go on to the next page, the top part is just a review of how to use a ruler. And since we're already working on that, let's jump down to this banana and the carrot. They said here that it's 2 units, but I'm going to use my ruler just to check and make sure. I'm going to line up the ends here, and I can see that this banana is 1, 2 units long. So go ahead and trace the 2, and then take a minute with your ruler and make sure you line it up with the end of the carrot, and then count how many units long. 1, 2, 3. So the carrot is 3 units long. Turning to the last page, I have here. All right, so on the top of this page, it says here, use your ruler that you made to measure the length of each picture. So we're going to measure this rope. Take our ruler, we're going to line it up with the end, and then we're going to count how many units. So I've got 1 unit, 2 units, 3, 4. So this is 4 units long. And now we'll measure the nail the same way. We'll line up our ruler with the edge of the paper, of the nail, and we'll count 1 unit, 2 units. So the nail is 2 units long. Down the problem-solving question, it says, when Chad and Jude use a ruler, Chad's pencil is 8 units long, and Jude's is 6 units long. Whose pencil is shorter, and by how much? Well, we have 8 and 6, and we know that 8 is bigger than 6. So if we have 8 and we take away 6, that will tell us our difference, and then we will know how many units shorter it is. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we're comparing, ka-chink, 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 when we get to our difference here, we see there are 2 units that are our difference. So it is 2 units shorter. And who has the shorter pencil? Jude has the shorter pencil because his is 6 and Chad's is 8. My nephew's name is Jude. Lots of familiar names in this work today. So it says, how is using a ruler to measure easier than using paper clips? Well, the reason why it's easier is because it's one piece that we have to use to measure. We don't have to sit there and count out one paper clip at a time or have a whole bunch of paper clips or cubes to hold on to. So when we have a ruler, it's one measuring tool that has multiple units on it. And so that's why it's easier. Okay, so boys and girls, we'll continue to work on measurement now that you have your little homemade ruler. If you want to go around your house and practice measuring, that would be awesome. Make sure you get this page done and make sure you get outside and have some fun today. Okay, maybe take your ruler outside and see if you can measure some of the fall leaves that fell down, or maybe find some acorns or other fall things outside. Okay, we'll see you later. Bye, guys.